Hello, Year 6. Today we're thinking more about our persuasive writing and the skills we can use to best enable ourselves to complete quality persuasive writing that makes somebody feel more inclined to do something that they otherwise wouldn't want to do. The primary skill we're thinking about today is the use of conjunctions to link reasons to the points we're making. So within this, I'm going to give you a few example sentences where the reason for a point is being linked to the point by the use of a subordinating conjunction. After that, you're going to get some work whereby you are expected to complete some sentences. Once you've completed those sentences, you'll have more freedom to write some sentences of your own. And finally, you're going to think about developing a bit of a knowledge of Roald Dahl so that we can write a few sentences about Roald Dahl as well. Okay, so you're going to do a few bits of writing of sentences using conjunctions today, and the resourcing for that is attached to the email that was sent out today. Okay, so the first one we got is because. So I love Matisse's work. So Matisse is an artist. I love Matisse's work because he uses colour so brilliantly. So the reason there that you love it is that his use of colour is brilliant. Okay, so we've got that conjunction because within the middle of the sentence. Here we've got an example how conjunction can open a sentence rather than always be embedded within the middle of the sentence. So since we've got a few minutes to wait for the train, so because of that reason. So since we've got a few minutes to wait for the train, let's have a cup of coffee. So the decision is to have a cup of coffee. The sentence could be reordered with that first conjunction. So you could say, let's have a cup of coffee because we've got a few minutes to wait for the train. But here we've got the conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, and the conjunction here is since. So that is our third conjunction. So I'll go by car so that I can take more luggage. Okay, so the reason for going by car is the need to take more luggage. Okay, so I can take more luggage so that I'll go by car doesn't make sense. Okay, but if we put them in the correct order, we put the purpose of the we put the point before the conjunction so that, and then we've got our reason at the end. Okay, so I want to do something so that I'm able to do something else. Okay, so I'll go by car so that I can take more luggage. Next one we've got in order that. So do exercises in order that your health may improve. And this is probably relevant to all of us, but particularly teachers who are getting on and a bit old like myself. We need to make sure during this lockdown that we do lots of exercise in our gardens and around our house. So do exercises in order that your health may improve. Okay, so the reason for doing the exercise is so our health improves, and the point we've got to do is do the exercise. Okay, so that's subordinate dating conjunction of in order that. As, okay, very simple short conjunction. So we played chess all evening as we had nothing better to do. So here again, the reason for playing chess all evening is we had nothing better to do. I think we could improve this sentence. I like a bit of chess. I don't know if any of you guys do, but we played chess all evening as it's a great fun game and it makes our brains work hard. Okay, so you could change your reason there. Okay, our final one here is therefore. Now, therefore sometimes is a tricky one. I'm sure in year 4 and year 5 you will have utilised it as a conjunction, but the ordering of the sentence is important when we utilise therefore. So he uses colour so brilliantly, therefore I love Matisse's work. So earlier on we had a sentence for because where I love Matisse's work, the point was before the conjunction. Here the point is after the therefore conjunction. So here we've got our reason at the beginning of the sentence and then our point at the end of the sentence. So reason, conjunction, point. So he uses colour so brilliantly, therefore I love Matisse's work. Mr. Spring's very tired, therefore he should go to bed. Year 6 are very smart, therefore they will do very well with their work. Okay, so if we think about therefore, what we have is our reason before our conjunction and our point at the end of the sentence. So slightly different ordered. So it's a tricky one to use, but we just need to try our best. Now, within your work today, you've got a recording activity for your conjunction at work. So your worksheet looks like this, and you can see at the top of the sheet, you've got those red conjunctions as, because, therefore, in order that, since, and so that. Now, within those 6 sentences, the conjunction is missing. Some of them are in the middle of the sentences, some at the beginning. And what I'd like you to do initially is to identify where which conjunction should go in those gaps. Okay, so where the lines are, they indicate there's a gap. So if you could stop the video now and have a go at doing those. Once you've completed those, you will have developed a stronger understanding of how to utilize those conjunctions. And now what I'd like you to do is try and use those 6 conjunctions on the second element of the worksheet. And this is where you're writing your own sentences. So the example I've given you, and I'd like your sentences here to all be about Scrooge and about Marley and Bob Cratchit and all the other characters and events from A Christmas Carol, because we've read it together. I've used the sentence of Scrooge was fearful when he saw Marley because he had been dead for many years. Okay, so the reason Scrooge was fearful was because Marley had been dead for many years. Okay, we could have altered the order with the therefore example. Marley had been dead for many years, therefore Scrooge was fearful when he saw him. Okay, so we could alter it if we changed the conjunction. What I'd like you to do then is think about maybe some sentences about Bob Cratchit, maybe about Scrooge and the various ghosts he saw, the ones of Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future. Could you think about the different characters who also influenced Scrooge's life? So Tiny Tim, maybe, if you remember our little friend who became well, not became well, but became happy at the end. So you can have a think about how you could write maybe 6 sentences, because the 6 different conjunctions utilizing your knowledge of the characters from A Christmas Carol and the events from A Christmas Carol. That'd be great. Okay, have a go at doing that whilst you pause the video. Now, moving on, I've sent you again today a copy of the Roald Dahl Land advert. The purpose of that is just to refamiliarise yourself with this text, because it's the text we're basing our writing on as we build towards next week. But I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the texts that were referenced there. Now, because I've been relatively new to Brookvale and I haven't seen your journey from year 1, I don't know how many of these books you've read. So I just thought I'd quickly talk about a few of them and then see if you could write some sentences showing your knowledge of these. So the first one I saw reference was Fantastic Mr. Fox. So this is a fox who's trying to get away from these dastardly farmers. And he's a very loving parent to his family, and he cares for them, and as a fox. And it's quite an interesting story of how the farmers are portrayed as very negative characters, but actually what they're trying to do is protect their things. But basically, Fantastic Mr. Fox is a fox who looks after his family, tries to keep them alive. Then we've got James and the Giant Peach, a boy who has some unpleasant aunties, and these unpleasant aunties are making him do lots of things, but eventually he manages to get some magical characters, some magical animals who help him develop more freedom. Okay, so he also grows this ginormous peach that he goes off and has adventures on. Very exciting story. We've also got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is obviously all about chocolate. Willy Wonka, we might have seen it. You might have seen the Oompa Loompas in the in the film version. And this boy Charlie finds a golden ticket which allows him to go and see Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. A really fun story, and with some very, very unpleasant other children. None of the children would be in our class because we're all such lovely so-and-sos. But some of the children in this story are very, very greedy children. And I'm sure you couldn't imagine it, children, but I think some of them eat sweets at school and all these kind of things. Dreadful, dreadful stuff. Okay, another story that we've got is the enormous crocodile. Now, this is a very smart animal, this one. This animal likes to eat children. Very tasty stuff. Okay, and you might have experienced this story in the past. Okay, and this crocodile tries to eat children, but eventually gets caught out and isn't able to. Here we've got George's Marvelous Medicine. Again, Roald Dahl didn't seem to like aunties and all grandmothers, and this is a boy who decides to make some medicine to alter his grandmother and uses all the things around the house to make this medicine, and then his dad wants him to replicate to do it again. So it's quite an exciting story of using the things you shouldn't do around the house without permission to make a magical medicine, which makes lots of things go odd. And our final one that we've got here is the BFG. Probably my favourite, but that's mainly just because I'm big, and although you might not think it, I consider myself big friendly. Now, it's a lovely story about a character who goes around fighting off mean old giants and being very kind to a little girl called Sophie. It's a lovely story, and I'm sure some of you have seen the film as well. So that's those 6 books. Now, what I'd like you to do as your final piece of work today is have a look at your sheet and think about those stories and think about whether, based on your knowledge of them, or even if you have to Google them just to find out the synopsis, the plot, could you use some of these conjunctions to describe why you'd like to meet characters from within those stories? So I'm thinking about James. So since, that's my conjunction, since James is fascinated by magical creatures, I would like, should say to meet him. I made a mistake there. Don't tell Hania. Since James is fascinated by magical creatures, I would like to meet him, especially if he were on his giant peach. Okay, so that's my sentence there. I'd like you now to have a go, if you can, at trying to write 6 or more sentences about those about those Roald Dahl books. And once you've done that, send it in the way that Mr. Day and the office tell you to, and it'd be great to look at your sentences using those conjunctions. Thank you for giving me your attention today, guys. Good luck with that work. Bye-bye.